Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, and we are back for another Tuesday tip. For those of you who are new here, welcome. We're doing something a little different this week. I want to bring it all the way back to the basics. So, for those of you who are new, my name is Pia Miller. I'm an attorney in Virginia, own my own law firm. Every Tuesday, I come in, talk about a little something random. And that little something random for today is how can you best prepare for your initial consultation with an attorney? I've just noticed some trends lately. People are short on time. They've got a lot of questions, but how can we best use the time that you have allotted? A lot of us as attorneys, sometimes we only schedule for new intake meetings 1 day a week, 2 days a week. So we can't get scheduled up, pretty quickly. And so you might wait a couple weeks. And during that time that you're waiting to meet with the attorney, I really want you to really prepare yourself. So got a few tips. First tip. A lot of us have intake forms. We have intake forms for a reason. So I really need you to complete every single question fully and completely and honestly on that intake form. If you don't complete that intake form, it prevents us from doing things like running conflicts checks, and that can get all of us into some ethical issues. So we don't want that. All right, next tip. If you have a case where there's already an existing order, or if you have been charged with a criminal offense, please send copies of those documents to the attorney prior to the consultation so that we have enough time to review them in advance. Try to look up any issues, do any quick research before we meet. While we're meeting, it's not the time for us to try to read a 20-page court order and decipher it and figure out what happened. That's not the best use of our time, all right? So please make sure that you send any documents to the attorney in advance to your meeting. My third tip, while you're talking to the attorney, please be completely honest. Unfortunately, a lot of times, I understand that you want to present yourself in the best light, but if we as your attorney don't know everything that's going on, we cannot properly advise you. We cannot properly answer your questions if we don't have the full story. Keep in mind that attorney-client privilege applies to these intake meetings. You might not formally be our client yet, but that doesn't matter. That privilege still applies. We cannot discuss anything that we have discussed with outside persons unless you give us permission to do so. So just be honest with us, okay? And again, there's nothing that you're going to say to us that's going to shock us. We've heard a lot of things, so don't think that you can't tell us. You absolutely need to tell us. Fourth tip, please don't wait until the last minute to schedule a consultation with an attorney. I've noticed a recent trend lately where people wait until about a month before court, particularly in like custody cases or in divorce cases. A month before court, I promise you, we can't get anything done for your case. At least in Virginia, we have scheduling orders. There are deadlines that we have to meet. We have to designate experts within a certain amount of time. Discovery has to be done. All of these things, we cannot get your case ready in a month. Not if you want us to fully present evidence. I appreciate that some people think like, I've done a lot of the legwork myself, and so I just need to hire somebody to actually put it forth. Yeah, no, that's definitely not how it works. Same concept applies with criminal cases. If you wait until the week or so before your trial, you're not giving your attorney the information that they need, the time that they need to properly prepare your case, and it's probably going to have to be continued. And ultimately, a continuance is up to the judge, and if the judge says that you can't continue your case because you waited until the last minute, there's nothing that we can do about that as your attorneys, okay? Last but not least, and I understand, I know I've said this before, I understand that there are financial concerns and that paying for an attorney can be a lot of money. However, I will die on the hill that if you do it right, you do it right the first time. So especially when we're talking about those family law cases, you want to hire an attorney on the front end. So that initial divorce, that initial custody proceeding, that initial child support proceeding, because trying to fix it on the back end in a year or two when you realize that some of the things that you may have agreed to the first time around, or the document that you signed the first time around wasn't really in your best interest or isn't really logistically feasible, us trying to come in and play cleanup on the back end is really going to be 10 times more costly. So please understand and respect the fact that attorneys, sometimes when you talk about hiring us, it may be a couple $1,000s to start off. If you personally know that you are not financially prepared, that is okay. This is also where timing comes in. If you meet with us far enough in advance, we can probably put you on a payment plan, but we can't do that if you wait until the week before court to have a consultation. We just can't. So If you know that you don't have the funds, you may need to look out to legal aid or some other pro bono attorneys who may be in the area. Get on Google, do a little bit of research. It just may not be the right time. All right, y'all. That's it for this week. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And we'll be back next week for our next Tuesday tip. Take care.